Oh, thank you.
Schubert,
Here.
Gillespie. Here. Johnson, absent. Cifuentes. Arroyo.
Here.
Olivas.
Here.
Loveshi.
Here. Thank you. Mr. Mulheron, longtime town cat, please lead us in Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Heron. Public comment, you would have to sign in before 7 o'clock. Limit is 3 minutes. Please be considerate of the time clock. Allow all others to speak. First speaker, Mr. Henry Johnson.
Good evening. My name is Henry Johnson, and I have been employed by District 131 for approximately 13 years as an elementary school teacher. The purpose for my request to speak is to address the needed characteristics for the pending superintendent candidates. I had the honor of working with an individual many of us here knew and respected. The individual I speak of is Art Velasquez. Many who knew and worked with Art have many memories of the 83 years of life experience that he shared and made him an invaluable civic leader and mentor. Before his death, Art shared his thoughts with board members for the characteristics he felt were needed for the superintendent candidate that 131 was searching for in 2018. In the January 30th, 2018 Beacon News obituary article, School Board President Annette Johnson gave high praise to Art's invaluable efforts as he cited Mr. Velasquez's advice and strong advocacy for the characteristics that he felt were necessary for the role of District 131's superintendent. President Johnson also quoted that Mr. Velasquez's advocated for a strong English program, saying that English language was the path to success for the Hispanic community. Furthermore, Mr. Velasquez advised President Johnson that the superintendent should be culturally competent. This competency would include an understanding of the needs of the Hispanic and Latino community. I feel that Art was correct in his assessment of the needed superintendent characteristics. Furthermore, I feel that this board must seek a candidate with more than just educational, academic, and administrative accomplishments. I feel that the superintendent candidate must be ready and prepared to address the following areas of concern that are vital to District 131. Communication and trust is an unfortunate barrier between family involvement and the average student's educational support. A superintendent that not only is familiar to the parents of our district, but also possesses bilingual ability will go far to helping to open the walls of trust that appear to still separate the district from these families. Time is not an ally to us during our search for a superintendent. So a candidate that is already familiar with the intricacies and particulars of our district would also be an advantage. In other words, searching outside to an individual that has no experience with our staff and students should be the last thing that should be considered. Finally, I would advocate for a successful leader that understands the job difficulties as well as the responsibilities of the staff she or he leads. I feel this will command respect from the staff members in general and promote a positive morale and enthusiasm in the daily tasks and endeavors. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Sure.
Next speaker, Derry Paulson.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Paulson. I'm a citizen here of Aurora. I'm a retired non-commissioned officer with the United States Army with the Green Berets, served for over 17 years in my current position as well as the chairman of the Chicago Recruiting Command. And it's come to our attention, the veterans community, along with the Aurora AMVETS Post 103, that without any notice or discussion, Commander Curley was dismissed from his position as a senior naval instructor here at the school. Needless to say, we're not happy. And I'm putting this as mildly as that they're going to let me. After we all found out about Commander Curley's dismissal, we had a meeting. And besides the fact that the man didn't have a contract and he was let go and hasn't had a contract, which is totally unfair and not right without any discussion, and just to be let go a couple days before Christmas break and his stuff stuck in a box and said, here it is. It's sad, especially for all of you to act the way you do, if that's the way you want the kids in this district to be raised. Not a good example. Not only was this dismissal unwarranted, but the timing. It demonstrates to all of us in the veteran community, and I have been given that authority by our veteran community. It shows the lack of total professionalism by the East Aurora School District and demonstrates to these students and parents of how ruthless the school board is and lacks in its ethics and professionalism. The veteran community of Aurora and beyond is asking that Commander Curley be reinstated immediately. I've also had the pleasure to work with Mike for over 17 years. A fabulous naval officer. And I know of the incident for which I heard that he may have been let go, which is ridiculous. Commander Curley deserves to be heard and at a minimum to have a conversation with an unbiased group of East Aurora board officials, and we request that Commander Curley is immediately reinstated. Finally, given a contract which the district's also failed to provide Commander Curley for the past few years, which is also against the law and also reflected badly against East Aurora High School in the last naval inspection. In closing, the kids don't deserve to not have Commander Curley. And last, I'm extremely glad I don't have any kids that attend this school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. The correction is Jerry Curley. My apologies. Next, Michael Curley.
Good evening. President Johnson, I wish he was here this evening. Board members, Dr. Norrell. I'm here tonight to practice what I preach to our cadets. One of the keys to better mental health is not to suffer in silence, self-advocacy. I want to demonstrate the core values we teach our cadets: honor, courage, and commitment. I strive to do the best at what I do. I try to do the right thing. That is why it's necessary to speak to you this evening. I'd like to address two specific issues. One, the events that led to my dismissal on Veterans Day of 2024, the lack of an employment contract. Let me introduce myself. My name is Commander Michael M. Curley, United States Navy retired. I am the former naval science instructor at East Aurora High School. I'm passionate of the voice for my cadets, for the program, and for East Aurora High School. I enlisted in the United States Navy while in high school to escape a volatile family. I wanted to start a new life. I wanted to serve my country. I wanted to get an education. I served in the United States Navy for 35 years before I became a naval science instructor in the Chicago Public Schools and eventually to District 131. I'm a husband, a father, and a veteran with a disability. I now have a lifelong brain injury. I'm a survivor of mental and physical trauma. I'm a second-generation immigrant. I'm a first-generation college graduate. Many of my students have similar life experiences. That is why I see myself in them, and that is why I'm so passionate about my cadets, your cadets in this program. It is my understanding that the reason for my dismissal was based on the events of Veterans Day, an event that we are expected to attend. Yes, there were mistakes made at a variety of different levels. However, when the parade stepped off, our unit had our flags flying. All of our cadets were safe. We fulfilled the unit's the schools, District 131, the community's expectations. And if you had a chance to watch us on television, we were front and center. Secondly, District 131 has been in contractual noncompliance since my first day, August 30th of 2021. After almost a year of being in my position, I sent a letter to Human Resources asking for a status. They said it was sent up the next level. I continued to look for progress without success. During our annual military inspection in November of 2023, the Navy was aware of the difficulties. The school told the Navy and myself that there would be a contract delivered on July 1st of 2024. As of December of 2024, there still wasn't any movement. We're the largest NJROTC unit in the Midwest, nearly 400 cadets, strong, one of the largest in the United States. Saturday, Congresswoman Underwood awarded 2 congressional nominations to the Naval Academy, the first time in 10 years. And we're the only high school in her district that has 2 cadets or 2 students from the same school. I understand I run out of time, but I want to say one last thing. Personally, I do this work for my cadets. I want them all to be happy. I want them to be healthy, and I want them to be successful. In order to achieve and continue this level of impact and success, I respectfully request the opportunity to return to campus and continue to lead great cadets, and also with a contract. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Curley. Next speaker, Ginger Ingram. Next speaker, Ginger Ingram.
Good evening, board members, school staff, parents, veterans, community members, and students. And thank you for this opportunity to address what I believe to be a serious misjudgment of character made by our school board. My name is Ginger Ingram, an East Aurora parent since 2004. And we are here this evening to appeal to all of you regarding District 131's dismissal of NJROTC's program commander, Michael Curley. Upon arrival downtown at our City of Aurora's 2024 Veterans Day Parade, the East Aurora NJROTC cadets realized a grave mistake. They had not packed the American flag, clearly a vital element in presenting their unit amongst distinguished veterans and guests. The highest ranking cadet, who was 18 years old, also pre-enlisted in the U.S. military, volunteered to retrieve the flag from East Aurora High School. Being that the school was closed for the Veterans Day holiday, the commander allowed his ID to be used to gain access. The option of leaving 300 plus members of the unit undersupervised or a steadfast way to rectify the problem was the decision that became the issue. Sadly, the movement for termination was made right before the holidays. It is with this too harsh and rash decision of termination by this board that vastly affects the lives of so many in our community. We respectfully ask for you to re-examine and to consider this. We've known Commander Michael Curley since 2021 when our daughter, like her two older brothers, chose to participate in East Aurora's NJROTC program. Commander Curley had just arrived at East and quickly proved his excellence in leading the unit. Not new to leadership or making tough decisions, Commander Curley is a proud retired Navy veteran and senior naval science instructor, husband, and father. East was lucky to be gaining him as their next director of military sciences. In a challenging post-COVID climate, Commander Curley successfully initiated and fostered many relationships that bolstered the program's visibility and honorable reputation. You could say he began a campaign to have the East Aurora unit of the Naval Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps become the best it could be. Commander Curley mentored countless students and fostered a culture for success, There's been a 100% graduation rate for senior cadets and countless hours of volunteerism by the members of this unit. Commander Curley actively chooses to support each and every student he encounters in and outside of the classroom, including cadets that have previously graduated. He truly goes the extra mile for the young adults of East Aurora. The color in his command, can I finish? Okay. He truly goes the extra mile for the young adults of East Aurora. The Color Guard is being continually asked to serve throughout the city. This year, the program can boast not one, but 2 cadets honored by the congressional nomination with the guidance and support of Commander Curley. For the benefit of both the unit and the individual cadets, he built many affiliations. Fermilab for internships, Kane County Board of Elections for student judges, the Daughters of the American Revolution for cadet recognition and scholarships, the First Division Museum of Cantigny Park, Honor Flight Chicago, and the Aurora Veterans Advisory Board, to name a few. In his command, the unit has been awarded the National Honors 2022 Unit Achievement Award, 2023 Distinguished Unit Award, and now holding the highest recognition, the 2024 Distinguished Unit with Honors. My question to all of us this evening, is this the example we wish to give our students and community? When a person who is retired from the military, who served their country, who makes great things happen in our community, who has looked out for so many of our children, who has improved our school district, be let go so rashly, he deserves a lesser punishment than this termination. Commander Michael Curley deserves our gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ingram. Please ask you, please respect the 3-minute limit. Ms. Molly Curley.
Hi, everyone. I already got out my tears when my dad was talking, so I'm going to try to compose myself. And then when I just start anytime? Okay, thank you. So my dad, when I think about my dad, many terms come to mind, but I would say some main ones are integrity, dedication, and valor. My dad has served our country for 38 years. He has saved the lives of others. I won't go into specifics, but he has sacrificed his life to save other people. He's had several near-death experiences, and he's really given his heart and his life to the service of our country. He's passionate. When he comes home at the dinner table, he talks about the successes of his cadets and their triumphs, and his face lights up. And he's passionate. He loves this job. We see his face light up when he talks about it. But ultimately, I wanted to come here to talk about him as a human. He's my dad. He's been a soccer coach for decades. He's coached us a decade plus of soccer, several soccer teams. He went to all 4 of my high school performances of Les Mis, a show that's 3 hours long. So he went to all of the performances and all the tech rehearsals. My point being, he's taken countless trips to and from St. Louis, Missouri to move his 2 daughters into college. At the end of the day, he's a human, and the ripple effect of what happened right before the holidays had a very, very large impact on our nucleus of our family and our extended family. And I just wanted to say, as a person, he raised us with our safety and well-being at the forefront. He's the kind of person who would give you the shirt off of his back. My knee is shaking, sorry. He shovels for our elderly neighbors who cannot shovel for themselves. Point being, sorry. When faced with a difficult situation, he made the best decision he could at the time. Had my dad known what the outcome of this decision would have been, he never would have made the decision. And to fire a 38-year veteran based off a mistake that was made at a parade to honor veterans is deeply hurtful, and it's very hurtful. So I think that to set a good example, the best would be to reinstate him because, sorry. I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curley. Last speaker, Irma Villalpando.
Good evening. My name is Irma, and I am the proud parent of an 8-year-old boy who is part of the SOC program at Gates Elementary. This school year, there has been several issues and problems with the SOC program, and those problems and issues only continue. The board is already aware of previous issues that have occurred within the building at Gates surrounding the SLC program, but another issue has come to light as of Friday, January 10. On Friday, Ms. Hayes and Ms. Thompson called me to inform me of a change to the SLC program, which obviously changes my son's legal IEP minutes, which would involve placing him in the general education setting with his general education peers for specials like music, PE, art, and technology. This is a violation of his IEP as it is written down currently. While on the phone with Ms. Hayes and Ms. Thompson, I was told that this change would start Tuesday, January 14. My son is on the autism spectrum, and rapid changes causes dysregulation to his system. As an educated parent and with an advocate who supports my family in fighting for my son's rights, I know that including my son in the general education setting could be beneficial for both him and the general education students. However, it is evident that the only person who knew how to support a gradual transition was removed from the program. I was also told on the phone that regardless of my feelings, there was nothing my advocate or I could do to avoid this change, which is a violation to my son's rights as well as a violation under the ADA. And if my son couldn't handle being in these classes, or if I didn't agree, I would have to look into outplacement. This is not the only solution. I know there's more that we can do. No other parents were contacted about this change. The SOC families and students deserve some respect. We do not deserve being talked at, but collaborated with. We've been asking for communication meeting after meeting, but it is obvious that none of you seem to care about our concerns. Another issue is that my son's occupational therapist left at the beginning of December 2024, leaving my son with no services, and no one bothered to tell me until Megan sent a letter weeks later letting me know of this. In the letter, it says I can get compensation for my son's missed services, but no one has reached out with a plan or how they will make up for these missed services. I cannot be chasing after people that are in charge of my son's education in school. Things need to change for this program. The district is responsible for all of their students, not just the general education and gifted students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Villalpando. Concludes public comment for tonight. Before I continue, I acknowledge Avis Miller, former board member. Welcome back, Ms. Miller. Superintendent, huh? Oh. Communication. Morale.
Thank you, Mr. Arroyo. Okay, our first report this evening is from our student board member, and so I will allow her to, can you help with the turn on her mic? Yes, okay, wonderful. All right, go ahead, the floor is yours.
Good evening, board members. As we step into the new year, I am honored to share the accomplishments and events that have shaped our school community over the past month. December was a month of connection, service, and success. To begin, December featured several events that brought our community together. The Spanish Honor Society hosted Noche Latina, an evening that celebrated culture and unity among students. Seniors also had the opportunity to unwind after finals with a Christmas movie night in the atrium, creating a relaxing and festive way to end the semester. Service played a big role last month. After students completed their exams, Student Athlete Society visited Hermes Elementary School to read to younger students, reflecting their commitment to supporting our community in meaningful ways. On December 14th, they volunteered at Brady Gift Mart, helping parents navigate the event and ensuring everything ran smoothly. In terms of athletics, Our teams ended the semester with incredible achievements. The cheerleading team earned second place at the Rockford competition, qualifying them for the ICCA state championship. Both wrestling teams also had standout performances at the Oswego East Invitational, with the girls placing second and the boys finishing third. These accomplishments showed the dedication and hard work of our athletes and coaches. In terms of education, seniors are working hard to finalize college applications and prepare for the next chapter of their lives. I want to wish them all the best as they take this big step forward to their futures. To support them, East Aurora has hosted FAFSA workshops, which have been a tremendous resource for many families, particularly first generation students or those unfamiliar with the process. We appreciate those who have dedicated their time and effort to guide both students and parents through this important step. Finally, I want to thank all of our teachers and staff and administrators for your unwavering commitment for our students. Your dedication makes East Aurora a special place, and we're grateful for all you do to inspire, guide, and support us. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing all that we'll accomplish together in 2025.
Thank you, Chair Gran. All right, Dr. Rao.
Okay. All right. First up this evening, we have a couple of items under district updates. And so as we begin the 2025 year, we thought it was an appropriate time to celebrate the outcomes of 2024. And so we have this evening, the first part of my report is riddled with some wonderful news about our hardworking staff and leadership in the district. So without any further ado, I will bring up Marissa Jelenowski, our PR officer, to give the first award. This is international recognition.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. The Great Reading Tournament is an international reading challenge that was held in November, where 5 countries, including Mexico, were united by the passion of reading. Over 1 million minutes were read, and Waldo Middle School was recognized as the school with the highest average minutes read in English in the entire tournament. Congratulations to Principal Eileen Roberts, the Waldo Middle School staff and students. Where's Eileen? Come on up, Eileen. So we have this for you and your school. Yes, of course, please. And then
Yeah.
we also have some
gotta give us-
certificates for a couple of your students. So should we go ahead and?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So also we want to recognize the students that read the most minutes in each grade level. So Fatima Hernandez, she's in 6th grade, and I know she's here. Congratulations. And then we'll do it. Let me move out of the way here. Yeah. And then we have a couple more that we can call up if they're here. It's Ashley Tobar Hernandez in 7th grade.
Here, Marissa. You want this?
Oh,
Does that help you?
good idea.
You can use this tape. Let me turn it on for you. There you go.
Thank you. And then we also have Angelina Rogers, who's in 8th grade. I don't know if she's here. And then we want to recognize 2 of the teachers whose classrooms read the most minutes. They're both language arts teachers, Nicole Thayer and Brigham Magnuson. Congratulations. And make sure to look at the camera. We're going to get a great picture. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, Waldo staff. No, this opportunity came up out of the blue a few months ago, and I told Dr. Norella about it. I was contacted by the government of Leon, Mexico, that they had this reading tournament going on. If you'd be interested in participating, it's supposed to go to Chicago first, but Chicago's a hot mess. CPS is a hot mess. Well, why not East Aurora? We're with the second city. And I contacted them with Dr. Engel, Dr. Norell, and other staffers, and it worked out. Waldo staff, thank you, thank you, thank you for making it happen. Students, congratulations. But reading is a lifelong skill, and it'll be serve them well when they get to college. But thank you, Dr. Norell, thank you for allowing the program to go forward.
This was huge, very impactful. Okay.
Okay, so we have more to celebrate, and we want to feature some of our EASD 131 schools that have gone above and beyond in their journey to help our students reach their full potential. So we're going to start by recognizing Cowherd Middle School as it continues to thrive for excellence. The 2024 Illinois State Board of Education report card was released, and Cowherd Middle School went up a designation and is now listed as a commendable school, a school that is meeting state benchmarks, performing well overall, with no underperforming student groups. Will Principal Jackie Gibson please come up with the rest of her team to accept this recognition?
I think they went up 2 designations. I'm clear, Principal Gibson. They moved up 2 presentations, and the Illinois State Board of Education and statewide superintendents sent that. And so we were saving it for you and your team. They sent you your own personalized certificate recognizing your huge, tremendous jump last year. Woo. All of your staff also will receive this pin to remind them of last year's efforts and to keep up the good work, continued efforts toward thriving for excellence. We're going to get a photo. Okay. Yay, Cowherd. Okay, I am on for the next recognition above and beyond award. So next we would like to acknowledge East Aurora High School for going above and beyond. East Aurora High School received a rating by the state of Illinois as a commendable school by the State Board of Education for the 3rd consecutive year. So kudos for maintaining that. Woo. But that's not all. They not only maintained their commendable status, but East Aurora High School achieved the highest graduation rate in their history, hitting finally 90%. Kudos to EA. At the same time, East Aurora High School was recognized again for continuing to have the largest number of students that earn a seal of commendation and seal of biliteracy in our region of the state, coming in strong the end of last year at 329 students that had their transcripts designated as truly biliterate. Kudos again. And also, East Aurora High School has been getting national recognition because they have one of the largest numbers of students that earned an AP Scholar Award in their history. They actually came in at 103 East Aurora students that earned the AP Scholars designation, up from only 65 the year before. So they almost doubled their number. And that's based on the students' test scores that are nationally competitive. I also want to share that this was no small undertaking. East Aurora High School did all of that while they spent the entire year planning, because this year I want to acknowledge every single staff member in East Aurora High School because they certainly did an exceptional job. They launched block scheduling flawlessly this school year for all 4,000 students. At the same time, they broke all of those academic records. So kudos to East Aurora High School for going above and beyond. Principal Mitchell, please come to the front with your school improvement team members that are here and your leadership. We have a certificate for you as well as for your staff. You all have pins, and your pins simply say above and beyond. Marissa, you want this one back for your next one? Okay. Thank you. And thank you to your entire staff.
Your achievement. The Illinois State Board of Education reported a very major achievement by Johnson Elementary School. For the 2024 report card, they were named an exemplary school, a school whose overall performance was at 92.62%, which means it was at the top 3% of all schools in Illinois. Yeah. It's not easy to accomplish, and yet Johnson Elementary School continues to raise the bar each year. Congratulations to Principal Inez Sem and all the building leaders, teachers, and staff for working together to make Johnson Elementary School an exemplary school and a leader in education. And you can come on up. We have a little surprise for you. And it'll just take a minute to put it together.
While you're getting that surprise together, we also have pins for your entire faculty that says exceeding expectations to remind them to keep up the hard work.
And he's going to get something ready for you guys. This is a prize, and we'll get a picture.
Absolutely, in front of this.
We were going to have it ready and roll it over, but it wasn't going to. It wouldn't let us roll.
It's like show and tell. I love it. It's like show and tell.
That's okay. They can take their picture and then we'll put it on the side.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Just stand behind it and hide it.
Awesome, excellent. Great.
Oh, there you go. You're ready. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Kudos.
Thank you.
And Principal Sem, we will have that delivered, so you don't have to take it tonight.
Don't worry, we'll make sure it works.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And as we move into our final above and beyond, this one is big.
Before you go on, what is that?
Oh,
poster
the
say?
board didn't get to see it. Sorry.
Just curious. All right,
2024
all right.
exemplary school.
Would that be in the hallway of the
Kudos.
school?
Yes, it will. I'm sure it'll be in the front main office in the hallway of the school. Yeah.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Johnson School. Thank you, Dr. Miss Sem.
Okay, and our final above and beyond recognition is a complete and utter surprise. We've kept this one very, very close and confidential because we didn't want to spoil the surprise. So we're going to conclude with one more incredible recognition. In December of 2024, I was officially notified that Fred Rogers Magnet Academy was named by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best middle schools in the nation. And I don't even know if they know. Please come to the front, Fred Rogers Magnet. Principal Ryan Valak and your team, come on down. Schools are ranked on their performance based on the state required tests, graduation, and how well they prepare their students for high school. The top ranked schools are all high achieving and have succeeded at educating all of their students. We wanted to make sure to acknowledge them on this major accomplishment. Tonight, we are going to share with you the plaque that actually was shipped to us from U.S. News and World Report to hang in your hallway. That is a huge accolade, a nationwide accolade. Congratulations. We are so very proud as a district that we're going to get to put this banner on the district website, obviously your school website, but this has definitely put East Aurora on the nationwide map as contenders. And we just want to congratulate you and the entire staff for Fred Rogers Magnet. And this is a surprise. I know your staff didn't know. And this is your banner that was sent to us again by U.S. News and World Report. Kudos. So we want to take a photo with them and that. Oh yeah, can you guys roll it around? You can see the one we have made in the one USD.
Where do you want it?
Oh, that way they can see it. And we can order banners for the street signs and other things, so if you want to.
We have permission to use all the logos.
Lots of merch.
Do you want to put it right in front of here, Carlos, maybe? Yeah. And then that way you guys can go around it. Yeah.
And then the board can kind of go around
And then the
them.
board can come over this.
you go out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go out there.
Yeah. This is when you guys go around.
Come on, get in there, get in there.
Teacher of the year. Get over Come in a little more.
Ready? Ready, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You sure? Okay, all right. They said they're gonna take theirs with them.
Yeah, we want the kids to see Aurora.
I don't blame you.
This is a lot easier to, and it's a heavy board.
Okay, I have one more item and then we'll be done. Again, kudos to all of our schools and all of your hard work and continued efforts. Keep up the phenomenal work. We know it is definitely hard work and a labor of love. My final item on my agenda is regarding the data sharing agreement for the child savings account, which the city of Aurora has been having this conversation with all of us for probably the last year. And this again is a program that is offered by the city. And right at this point, it is being offered only to West Aurora 129 and East Aurora 131 for students in both of those districts that live and have maintained residence in the city of Aurora. And so, Mr. Arroyo, this is an action item.
Any questions for the motion?
Yeah.
Is there a rep here from the city of Aurora to answer questions? Oh, it's correct. Chair will accept the motion to accept the motion, data sharing agreement with the city of Aurora. By Mr. I can't hear, so Fuentes, seconded by
Second.
by Ms. Gillespie. Any discussion?
Yeah, I do have a.
Mr. Schubert?
Can you expand a little on this MOU? Because a lot of what I'm reading here is a lot of protection for these different entities, Operation Hope in the city of Aurora, in terms of data sharing of student identifying information.
Yeah. Great.
So can we get just kind of a summary of that, of why this was decided to come through the district for this information instead of, and this is a great initiative. I think this is really a good thing. But why the city isn't asking families to apply through the city rather than, data mining the school district's information.
Yep. So first, I want to share with you that we did share this with John Fester so that he did go through it. He did actually ask them to make 2 changes to it. So I wanted you to be aware of that piece. And this process is going through the schools because it is important. The city wanted to make certain that they were able to capture families in totality. And so they feel like the school districts have the best chance because the students who are in school attending each of our school districts, they would then be able to make this available to families. And we could do it at times like registration and have parents not only be able to ask questions, but be able to make sure that they were able to capture those 100% of the students in our school district. So right now it's not for students for people who live in the city at large, but you have to be students of each of those school districts. And so I think there are plans, and I don't want to speak on behalf of the city or the mayor, but there are plans to expand this. But the initial component for these child savings accounts are only for the students and residents of East and West Aurora. So right now it's tied to being both, and that is why it's going through the school district. Also having the capacity to have access and answer questions for those families in our district.
What information is going to be shared?
They would just, and I think they iron this out, but that would just be the student, that is the name of the student, the parents' information. And again, not necessarily sharing, but what we're sharing is that we are actually sending this, because this would certainly be, it's not an opt-out, it's an opt-in program. So our students and families then would have to say, if they did not want it, they would tell us no, they would not opt in. So we were going to include it as a part of our process to make sure, our registration process, to make sure that it touches every student. And so we would just need to be able to expose our students and families to this. And Mike, I know this has been something that they've talked about citywide, and I'm not sure if you want to weigh in on this as well, but those are the details. So basically, when you open one of these savings, the entity that is doing it, which is the Hope organization, would then have all of their information, because they would house that particular child savings account that it could be added to by parents, friends, family over the years. And if the city wanted to give an additional donation down the line, they could continue to also give an additional donation in that vein. So this is something that is something that is people could contribute to, in addition to what's already there. But obviously, if you do open one of these accounts, then they would have all of their information at that point. But again, we're going with, it's going to be the opt-in.
What other entities do we share this kind of information with as a school district?
Right now, we don't, other than, I mean, all of our organizations or all of our vendors that we work with, we share student information. So our student management system, Synergy, and that platform, any of our other accounts that we have different services for, we'll share identifying information from the students. And so no external partnerships at this point do we share this kind of information with, outside of services for student services we do. But again, those are services that parents come in, attend meetings, and they agree to those services. So I would think within like special education and other student services, if we utilize an outside vendor. But again, those are for services that are defined by their education or social emotional needs. And I'll look to you and Andy to answer that question. Most of our third party that we share, we have to go through SOPA agreements. And so we make sure that's the way that we can guarantee that we hold them accountable for keeping that information confidential.
Yeah, because I see the operational will also share this with their subcontractors. Right. So I just,
I think that I'm going based on what Mr. Schubert
Louder,
said.
sir.
I think is a great idea, but I think there's still a lot of questions, and the formality and the information that's going to be shared, especially with all the breaches that's going on. I don't feel too comfortable voting on this right now. I feel it should go back to a committee and have really more detailed information, and bring someone from the city to really give us a more detail in depth of what's really happening with the information. Who is this Hope Operation Hope? I know it's U.S. Bank. Why this bank? Who's entitled? Who's getting all the information? I just feel we need a little more information. We cast our vote.
Into the questions.
I mean, is that something we can do? Just not vote it down, but maybe table it for right now. Do as
Absolutely.
Mr.
And
Alita says,
actually, Lisa has been in communication with the city because I know they weren't available to come out this evening, but they did say that if they're later that the board wanted them to come out, they would be more than willing. We actually had the opportunity to meet with, were you on the call with, to meet with to meet with that entity, and they answered all of our questions in terms of, what could they use the money for? When would they no longer be eligible for it? Those kinds of details. They met with both school districts, but they would certainly be willing to come out at the next board meeting or maybe a date in February to give us a further overview.
Because even in this agreement, they talk about these milestones that students need to make.
Right.
And well, they'll get additional aid. Well, what information are they gleaning? What are they getting from that, that we have to provide,
Yep.
as they, do
What
these
additional
benchmark,
data? Yep.
So yeah, definitely more information, at least in my,
Yeah, that's a good
opinion
idea.
is needed. I don't know what the rest of the board feels, but that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And I think they would be more than happy to do that.
Any other questions? Okay, here go
we'll
my
table it.
questions now.
Oh.
I read through this back a couple times. Our social security numbers required because we do have a high undocumented population of students. If they want to participate
No.
in their
No.
social security numbers,
No, we
that's
asked
my number
that.
one question. Number two, are any laws being broken because these students are potentially undocumented? They're opening accounts as minors.
Mhm.
Number three, we have incoming administration next week that we know is not friendly to immigrant communities. Well, and this data sharing between us and the city potentially be turned over to the feds. That these kids don't have social security numbers. That's like a magnet. Why don't they have social security numbers? Is that a magnet for the feds to come in and take these kids away? And we're
Mhm.
giving them basically an address book and a Rolodex too, pick these kids up at home or in the schools. And if the students move out of state or out of the country, what happens to the funds if they don't access them in time? Those are my questions. I am
can
not
answer
comfortable
them.
voting on this tonight either, but
And I
Well,
can
this is
have
my
them
concerns.
confirm that.
And again, I wish someone here was here from the city. If they want us to participate, someone should be here. They have a big staff. They can send somebody here.
Right, so why don't we just,
Ms.
as
Gillespie?
as indicated, that we table it
Mhm.
and that the questions that everyone had will be addressed at that particular time.
Thanks, guys. Mr. Lofty, you had to come. Thank you. Any other questions?
No. And let me just say this, because those are huge questions, Mr. Royal. And we did ask those questions as school district leaders, and that there's protections because students at that age most of them don't have a social security number anyway. And so we already covered all of that is spoken for in the agreement. I will tell you though, the last bullet, if they move out of the city of Aurora, if they put anything into it, they could get that back. But the funds go away if they move out of the city of Aurora. So that's a good question. And that was something that the school districts got answers to already. But I 100% will have the city of Aurora show up and speak to this and answer your questions directly. So
Thank you,
thank
Dr.
you.
Norrell.
Yeah,
Yep, thanks.
So we'll table the motion.
Yes.
Motion table, consensus on table the motion.
Can I say,
Ms. Gillespie?
can that discussion be held in a committee versus school board meeting?
If everybody doesn't want answers, just would depend.
Okay.
If everyone wants to have a preview of answers, then the board can kind of decide. And what I'll do is I'll just circle back with the board president to determine if she wants to do it as a part of the curriculum committee agenda or if she wants to do a full board, and then you can make those wishes known to her. And I'll check back with her in about a week, which gives us time to put it on either agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
That'd be,
Well,
just my personal opinion. I think it should be a full board discussion
agree.
because it affects all of us. And it's a decision we have to make as a group.
Yeah, and they can make a presentation, just like, the Kane County Credit Union comes in and gives us a presentation of things with engaging our staff. This
Yep.
could be the same thing the city of Aurora.
Very
could
good
do
point,
for
Mr.
our
Schubert.
students.
Oh,
So,
they would. They have one. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. We'll let them know. Lisa, you can let her know. Okay, great.
Thank you, everybody. The chair will accept the motion to accept the consent agenda.
So move.
Second,
Ms. Gillespie, seconded by
Mr. Olivas.
Mr. Olivas. Secretary, call the roll.
Schubert,
yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Arroyo,
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Finance personnel, Mr. Lofty.
We had a meeting today, and our next meeting is February 3rd. We have a couple action items. First one is overload at East High. There are 50.1 overloads. Maybe since I've gotten a few questions about it, Dr. Ballard can say why we have so many. I think it's a staffing issue.
Chair will accept the motion for 6B1.
Was that discussed in the finance?
Yeah, we discussed it tonight in finance, but
Okay.
since then I've had some people ask me questions,
You wanna
so
make a motion first?
why we
yeah,
have 50.
I asked for a motion.
Yeah.
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 So make a motion.
So move.
Ms. Olivas, Mrs. Fuentes, Secretary call, any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary call the
Oh,
roll.
hold on. I think
Discussion.
Dr. Ballard, would you
Oh,
say
is it
why we have
discussion?
I think he
50?
said-
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You gotta use a microphone. I can't hear.
Yeah.
Can you hear? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
there
feel
we
like I'm
go.
talking right
Oh,
into it.
you're
I'm
right.
sorry. Dr. Baylor, would you say why we have 50 overloads?
The reason for the number of overloads, the board had approved this number of overloads in the fall. What you're seeing is a continuation of these overloads for a semester for each teacher to cover unfilled teaching positions. It's not for the lack of high school trying to fill these unfilled positions, and many of them are in what we would call hard to fill areas. So for the continuity of instruction for students, we are recommending that we continue with the overload so that students have a consistent teacher in their classroom for the remainder of the semester. So this is one semester for each teacher that you're seeing, and that's why you're seeing such a high number.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Secretary, call the roll.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
LaShay,
Yes.
Arroyo,
Yes.
Olivas,
Yes.
6B2, motion to approve 1.16 overload for ESL 1 and 2 at Cowher Middle School.
So move.
Accept the motion.
Second.
Ms. Olivas, Ms. Gillespie, discussion. Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Cefuentes,
Yes.
Arroyo,
Yes.
Olivas,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
LaShay,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Motion passes. 6B3, motion to approve 6.16 overloads for special education resources at Waldo Middle School. Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
Mr. Lofty,
Second.
Mr. Cefuentes, any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Cefuentes,
Yes.
Arroyo,
Yes.
LaShay,
Yes.
Olivas,
Yes.
Motion passes. 6B4, motion to approve 4 FTE one-to-one teacher assistants for Brady Gates and East Aurora High School. Secretary, accept the motion.
So move.
Mr. Olivas.
Second.
Mr. Fuentes, Secretary, discussion. Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
LaShay,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Olivas,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Cefuentes,
Yes.
Arroyo,
Yes. Curriculum Committee, Mr. Cifuentes.
Good evening, everyone. The Curriculum and Programs Committee met on Monday, December 16th here at the Administrative Center. We did have a couple schools that presented their school improvement plans, and they were Waldo Middle School and Dietrich Elementary School. Waldo shared their 2023-2024 summary, which included that they changed from comprehensive to targeted for ISB's designation. They also had 58% of students that demonstrated growth as measured by Access, and 50% of students met or exceeded their growth in ELA as measured by NWEA MAP. They also had 64% of students that met or exceeded the growth target in math as measured by NWEA MAP. And goals that they were working on for the current school year are to reduce the office discipline referrals, maintain the average daily attendance at 95% or above, and by spring of 2025, that 60% of students will demonstrate growth in both math and reading as measured by NWEA MAP. Dietrich also presented their school improvement plan, and they also shared that they wanted to that they reduced the office discipline referrals of 60%. They maintained an average daily attendance of 93.42 for the 2023-2024 school year, and that 49% of EL learners met or exceeded their proficiency target scale as measured by Access, and 40% of English learners of students met or exceeded their expected growth in ELA as measured by NWEA MAP. Goals for the current school year are to have 70% of students meet or exceed their proficiency target scale in Access, reduce the ODRs by 5%, maintain a daily average attendance of 95%, and that 60% of all students will meet or exceed in both math and reading as measured by NWEA MAP. Ms. Martinez also presented on the after-school activities that are offered for the current school year, and that list is available on the meeting minutes. So we do have a long list of after-school activities, and Dr. Norell and Ms. Martinez also presented on the International Learning Center regarding students that transfer into the district where they speak a different language than we currently offer. They mentioned that they are working on a plan and will bring it back to the curriculum committee in February. They also shared the Institute Day preview that was today for staff. Ms. Martinez also presented on the Learning Forward Coaches Academy proposal for new coaches and new principals. The total cost for that is 39,110, and that will be funded by Title II. And we do have an action item to come on that one. She then presented on the American Institutes for Research Professional Services proposal regarding Allen Elementary School. And they are seeking approval of $40,090 to contract with AIR for state mandated needs assessment. And we also have an action item to come. She also presented on the Mental Health Symposium for students and parents that will take place on March 8th at Matia Valley High School. The cost for the partnership will be $2,500, and the program will be free to the community. And we also have an action item on that to come in shortly here. Dr. Engel presented on the School Links program renewal, and that total cost is $198,375. We also reviewed the resolution for disposal of outdated materials along with the attendance and enrollment. If there are no questions, we'll move on to the action items.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes.
All right, first action item, 7.B.1, motion to approve the AIR proposal for professional services for Allen School in the amount of $40,090.
So move.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion, hearing none. Secretary, call the roll.
Olivas,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Gillespie.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
All right,
Motion passes, Mr. Fuentes.
the next action item, 7.B.2, motion to approve the Learning Forward Coaches Academy proposal in the amount of $39,110.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, hearing none. Secretary, call the roll.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Schubert.
Yes.
Gillespie.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Motion passes, Mr. Cefuentes.
7.B.3, motion to approve the joint partnership with Districts 129, 200, 203, and 308 for the D204 Mental Health and Wellness Symposium.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Quick question, what is this about?
So for the last couple of years, Indian Prairie School District 204 has been hosting a mental health and wellness symposium for families, for parents, as well as young people. And so last year, 129 joined them. And this year we were invited along with Wheaton Warrenville to join, and Oswego and Naperville 203. And so we all have got together. Our staff has planned with their staff. And before we go forwards, it's just a $2,500 fee from each district to actually formally be a partner. We wanted to bring it to the board, not because of the cost so much as we didn't want you to see that our name was up in lights with all these other districts for some mental health wellness symposium that you didn't all know something about. And so basically as an invitation, there will be speakers. It's a conference style symposium. So there's a lot of learning that families can take advantage of. And this is a topic that I think universally in Kane and DuPage is a high priority for families. And so that's really our first year joining that partnership with all those districts.
What's the date of that?
Just left you.
What's the date?
March 8th.
March 8th,
Thank
okay.
you, Mr. Olivas.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Arroyo.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Gillespie.
Yes.
Schubert.
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Motion passes, Mr. Fuentes.
The next action item, 7.B.4, motion to approve the resolution for disposal of outdated materials.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Olivas, Mr. Lofty. Any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Schubert.
Yes.
Gillespie.
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Cifuentes. Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Schubert.
Okay, we had our meeting this evening. That report will be at the next meeting. Our next board meeting, our next building and grounds meeting is February 3rd at 6 o'clock. There are 3 action items this evening. I'll go through each of these. The first is 8B1. I need a motion to approve the naming of the combined campus of the BSA, the ECC, and the CTC parcel to become the Tomcat Education Community.
Chairman's made a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cifuentes, seconded by
Second.
Ms. Gillespie. Any questions?
What-
Mr. Lofty?
I know you were talking about at the board meeting, but why are we doing this? I wasn't clear on that.
Would you like me to share?
That's fine.
Okay, and then we also have, oh no, let's let Attorney Weiler share. He does such a better job.
So as part
Part of the special use that we're applying for the city has required us to, or has asked us to consolidate the 3 parcels that we have into a single plat. And so that when you file a plat, you usually give it a name. And so this will go on the name of the plat. For instance, the property that this sits in is the Bardwell First Addition to Aurora. And so every parcel around here has that name on the plat. It does not prohibit us from giving individual names to our buildings.
And those are not changing. The names of the
No.
buildings are not
We
changing.
would not be
There's no-
changing. the
Individual
names
buildings
of
keep their
buildings.
names.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Any further questions? Hearing none, Secretary call the roll.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Schubert.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Schubert.
Item 8B2, I need a motion to approve the emergency replacement of the Waldo Gymnasium subflooring by Construction, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $95,000.
So
Chair will
moved.
accept the motion.
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Lofty,
Second.
Mr. Cifuentes, second. Discussion. Hearing none, Secretary call the roll.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Gillespie.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Schubert.
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Schubert.
Item 8B3, I need a motion to reject all bids submitted for the replacement of the elevator at Waldo Middle School.
Accept the motion.
So move.
Mr. Lofty,
Second.
Mr. Cifuentes. Any discussion? I just found out there was an elevator at Waldo tonight, so I don't know there was one. Secretary call the roll.
Gillespie.
Yes.
Schubert.
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Schubert. Executive session for the purpose of discussing student discipline, property acquisition, workers' compensation, and the appointment, employment, performance, or compensation of a specific or dismissal of a specific employee. Secretary call the roll.
Oh,
So
I'd like
moved.
to add an item.
Okay.
So
You're right,
moved.
you're right.
Second.
Make a motion, Schubert.
I just
Mr.
like to
Olivas.
add
Yeah.
pending litigation to
I
that.
pay litigation.
Yeah.
Did I say that? It's
No.
not listed here. Okay.
Acquisition of property.
Yep.
Yes.
That's on there.
That's on here.
Okay.
We're adding for the record, pending litigation.
Pending litigation. Is there a
So
motion?
move.
Second.
Secretary call the roll.
Olivas.
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Schubert.
Yes.
Gillespie.
Yes.
Arroyo.
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
There will be action tonight's meeting, after the meeting. Let's get this done.
You're a champ. You can get us through it.
Oh, wow. Question by commander.
Not bad, 2 hours.
What?
9 o'clock.
No. Yeah.
Motion, reconvene the meeting.
So move.
Second.
Seconded by
Second.
Mr. Olivas. Secretary call the roll.
Fuentes,
Yes.
Arroyo,
Yes.
Olivas,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes. Okay, we have resolution, Mr. Schubert.
All right, be it resolved that this Board of Education, after having considered the evidence presented by the hearing officer, hereby upholds the recommendation for alternative placement to Core Academy in lieu of expulsion for student number 860-571-774 of East Aurora High School effective January 14th, 2025, for the remainder of the 2024-2025 school year to include summer school 2025 and the 2025 to 2026 school year to include summer school 2026. Should said student fail to attend the alternative educational setting, the expulsion will immediately enacted for the remainder of the expulsion term without further action by the Board of Education. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the parents of said student and duly recorded in the official minutes of this Board of Education, School District 131, dated the 13th day of January 2025.
Resolutions by Mr. Schubert. Accept the motion to accept it.
So move.
Ms. Gillespie.
Second.
Mr. Fuentes. Secretary call the roll.
Arroyo,
Discussion, hearing none. Secretary call the roll.
Arroyo,
Yes.
LaShay.
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Cefuentes,
Yes.
Olivas.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn. Mr. Fuentes, Ms. Gillespie, Secretary call the roll.
Arroyo,
Yes.
LaShay,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Cefuentes.
Yes.
Arroyo,
Meeting adjourned.
Olivas. I'm
Oh.
sorry, that was Olivas. That was
I'm
Olivas.
like, yes.
Meeting adjourned.
I apologize.